So here's the deal. My mother-in-law, Sharon, has never been my biggest fan. Honestly, I don't even know why. Maybe she thinks no one's good enough for her precious son. Anyway, despite her disapproval, my hubby and I have been together for 3 years and got hitched a year ago. Early on, we tried really hard to get her to like me, but she always acted all high and mighty, treating me like dirt. Most of the time, when I'd visit, she would either act like I wasn't even there or make it super clear that she didn't want me around. The only reason we even visited her before our wedding was because my father-in-law was really sick, and he was a genuinely good guy. We wanted to spend as much time with him as possible before he passed away. Sadly, he passed away 3 months after we got married, but at least he got to see his son get married. After his death, our visits to Sharon's place dropped off significantly. She made it crystal clear that she didn't approve of our relationship. Heck, she even sulked on our wedding day. So, we decided to steer clear of her as much as we could. My husband still kept in touch with her, but visiting her was rare. The reason he still stayed in contact was because his father left everything to him, except the house, which went to Sharon. She had been a stay-at-home mom her entire life and didn't have any money of her own. So, my husband sent her money monthly to maintain her lifestyle. To spare her feelings, he told her that his dad's will stipulated that he had to take care of her, even though no such condition existed. Now, we don't really know why my father-in-law didn't leave any money to Sharon. From what we knew, they just tolerated each other. I wouldn't call it a happy marriage, but they stuck it out for some reason. Anyway, despite the strained relationship with Sharon, we didn't feel good about cutting her off entirely. So, my husband kept supporting her financially, even though our visits were few and far between. You'd think she'd be a bit grateful, but nope. Last week, my husband was out on a work trip, and out of the blue, I got an invitation to Sharon's birthday party. That was a shocker since I'd never received an invite to any of her events. It's always been an invitation addressed to my husband with a +1, totally ignoring my existence as his wife. This time, the invitation was specifically for me. Super odd, right? I discussed it with my husband, and he mentioned he'd received his invite much earlier. It was pretty clear Sharon invited me as an afterthought. He had already told her he couldn't make it due to his work trip. He suggested I call Sharon to see what was up. So I called her, and she said she wanted to make amends. Sharon admitted she hadn't treated me well in the past, but wanted to fix things now because she realized we were in it for the long haul. She said she had talked to some friends and decided she needed to step up as a mother and mother-in-law. Her way of making it up to me was to invite me to her birthday party so we could bond. I was skeptical, given our history, but she sounded so genuine. Against my better judgment, I decided to go. Huge mistake. The next evening, I got all dressed up and went to the party. I expected Sharon to greet me personally, but instead, she had hired a doorman. To my shock, he checked the guest list and told me my name wasn't on it. I showed him the invitation on my phone, but he said it wasn't the actual invitation and implied someone had tricked me. That should have been my cue to leave, but I was genuinely willing to give Sharon a chance. So I stood there, feeling like a fool, and called her. So I reached out to Sharon and told her what was going on. A few minutes later, she came out with a bunch of her friends. I thought she was going to tell the doorman I was a last-minute addition and invite me in. Instead, she started yelling at security to kick me out, claiming she didn't even know me. Her friends were barely holding in their giggles, so it was clear this was planned. Sharon went into full drama mode, shouting about not wanting any gatecrashers at her exclusive party, meant only for close family and friends. She even made some nasty comments about not letting any filth into her house. I ended up walking back to my car in tears before security had to step in. I was crying so hard I couldn't even say anything. I drove a few miles away before totally breaking down and calling my husband. He listened patiently and tried to console me, even promising to cut his business trip short to come home early. I could tell he was mad at Sharon, but he stayed calm and focused on comforting me. So I had no idea what was coming next. When I got home, I blocked Sharon everywhere I could think of and swore I'd never speak to her again. The next morning, while I was on the phone with my husband, someone started yelling outside my door. No surprise, it was Sharon, screaming about taking us to court and making sure we paid up.
I had no clue what she was talking about, but my husband, still on the phone, explained that he'd told her the night before that he was cutting her off financially. He told her the truth, that her husband didn't leave her anything and all the money went to him, but she hadn't realized that yet. I called the cops to have her removed from the property, but didn't press charges. Honestly, I was pretty pleased. She had humiliated me, and now she was getting her karma. She'd been counting on my husband to support her since she had no money. At the time, I didn't think we were doing anything wrong by cutting her off. Then, 2 days ago, she sent us an email apologizing and begging for help, saying she had nothing and was relying on us. It sounded like she was trying to butter us up. I still haven't talked to my husband about it, and I have mixed feelings. She treated me horribly, but no one else is going to help her.
So that's the update. I've gotten a lot of comments calling me stupid for wanting to give my mother-in-law a chance, but I genuinely believed she was sincere. Everyone makes mistakes, and she's not the first mother-in-law to treat her daughter-in-law badly. I've heard of people correcting their behavior, so I thought giving her one chance was the right thing to do. I don't regret trying to be the bigger person, but I definitely regret going to her party. I feel like I didn't do anything wrong and was just trying to give her a second chance. That's just who I am, and I don't think it's fair to hate on me for it. Anyway, I thought I'd share what's been going on and how I'm feeling about it all. Okay, so here's the deal. The way she took advantage of my decision and then humiliated me just shows what kind of person she really is. That's it. End of story. I really don't want to talk about it anymore. I just needed to clear my name before even more people started hating on me. My husband and I chatted about the whole thing that went down at the party. Yeah, we regret how it all unfolded, but we're just relieved it revealed her true colors. She was always awful, but now it's just more obvious. We also looked over the email she sent us both, and we realized we had both felt guilty after reading it. But after really talking it through, we saw that she wasn't reaching out because she was sorry. She just needed money to keep up her fancy lifestyle. She tried to act like we were her only family or something, but truthfully, we were just her meal ticket. All that guilt we felt? Gone. She didn't get any money left to her from my father-in-law, but she definitely had some cash in her bank account from him before he passed. Plus, she has a bunch of valuable stuff she could sell if she needed to. Worst case, she could have asked her own family for help. Bottom line, there was no reason for us to keep giving her money, especially after she treated us so badly. She just didn't want to dip into her own savings because, let's face it, she's been like that her whole life, playing the helpless damsel in distress, just so we'd feel sorry and keep funding her lifestyle while she treated us like crap. For a while, she had us feeling all guilty, but no more. She might be a master manipulator, but we're onto her tricks now, and it's going to be tough for her to fool us again. It's been a week since her email, and we haven't replied. Nor are we going to. We're just ignoring her because we want nothing to do with her. If she stops living extravagantly, she can make it work with the money she's got. We're done feeling sorry for her and helping her out when she lied about being helpless. Honestly, I'm just relieved not to deal with her anymore. Balancing my dislike for her and the fact that she was part of my life via my husband was tough. Now that he's done with her too, I feel way better. To be clear, my husband was never a mama's boy, but like any son, he wanted to take care of his parents. Unfortunately, Sharon didn't deserve it. She could have had an easy life if she just played nice with me, but I guess her ego got in the way. Update. So, it's been 2 weeks since Sharon's email, and she stayed quiet for a bit. Yesterday, while my husband and I were having dinner, she showed up at our house again. I was ready to call the cops, but this time she wasn't yelling. She rang the doorbell and just started crying on our doorstep. We didn't know what to do. Could have been another trick to manipulate us, but seeing her sobbing did make us feel kind of bad. After talking it over, we decided not to open the door, but to be gentle. We told her through the intercom that we'd give her some time to pull herself together and leave, but if she didn't, we'd have to call the cops again. She said she didn't want money. She just wanted to apologize. She admitted it was late, but now that she had no one, she realized how important family is. Even her friends had families to go back to, and she felt that void. She asked if we could at least visit her sometimes because she really missed us, especially her son. We didn't really know what to say, so we stayed quiet. She went on to apologize for not being fully honest about the money from her husband, But to be fair, we hadn't been entirely. So, here's the scoop. Sharon brought up this whole thing about how my husband didn't tell her that her husband left her with no money. She felt like everyone was lying to each other, and that we needed to stop if we wanted to be a happy, healthy family. So, she decided to be honest with us. Turns out, she did that awful thing on her birthday because she never thought any woman would be good enough for her son. She said she didn't like me because I was too outspoken, bold, and ambitious. Like, really? How is that a problem in our marriage? Anyway, she admitted she didn't approve of me, and that just made her resent me more when she realized her approval didn't matter because my husband was head over heels for me. Sharon confessed she had to sacrifice a lot in her marriage and wasn't happy, but she got used to it. She started imposing those same expectations on me, and when I didn't live up to them, she started hating me. She hated that her son loved me so much, which is kind of messed up, but at least she's willing to work through it because she doesn't want to lose the only family she has. It was pretty raw and real of her, but we're still cautious. I told her we'd think about what we wanted to do but needed some peace and quiet to mull it over. She apologized one last time before leaving. Now, my husband and I are super confused and have no idea what to do. We really don't want to get manipulated again, but we also don't want to be heartless. Honestly, we're lost and could use some advice. Sharon was right about one thing, though. My husband's family needs to stop lying and keeping secrets. Update 3. It's ironic. Last time I said my husband's family needed to stop keeping secrets, and it still stands. We uncovered something serious. Turns out, Sharon's money didn't come from her husband. It was from her affair partner. She had an affair with a college friend who left her everything when he died 3 years ago. My father-in-law found out before he passed away and decided to leave Sharon with nothing but the house, giving all his assets to his son instead. Sharon had lied about making sacrifices in her marriage. She chose to be a stay-at-home mom. She always had someone else carrying her weight. Knowing the truth, we realized Sharon's apology was an act. I'm glad we didn't reach out to her after that because it would mean getting manipulated again. She's a liar, cheater, and just an overall terrible person. The farther we stay away from her, the better. Update 4. So, Sharon tried to contact us again, just a month after our last talk. Maybe it's because I announced my pregnancy on social media, but she pretended not to know. In her email, she said enough time had passed for us to decide about the future. Well, we did decide. We want her to stay away. We sent her a message telling her we knew about her affair and that we didn't want anything to do with her anymore. We told her if she's all alone now, it's because she deserves it. She never valued anyone in her life and only cared about herself. If she runs out of money, she can find another guy to rely on. But her son is done with her. It was harsh, but it had to be said because we need our peace, especially with a baby on the way. I doubt this will deter her, and she'll probably try again when I'm further along in my pregnancy. We've decided that if she bothers us anymore, we'll file a restraining order. We're also planning to move to a new house and make sure no one gives her the address. With a baby coming, we need a bigger space anyway. I'm just looking forward to being a mom and starting fresh.